is the bane of any nation's institution, and everyone wants to be invested in the political arithmetic currently ongoing in Nigeria. It's just like how it was during the administration or during the campaign season of Donald Trump in the United States of America. A lot of talks was centered around Trump emerging as the president. The stock market literally was fluctuating because they know how volatile and supposedly inconsistent Donald Trump can be. So obviously it set the tone in the stock market internationally. The same thing too applies in any nation's polity when politics is involved. All the economic policies, every implementation is centered on the kind of leadership that is being had or that is in charge of the administration. And so why are we having a coalition come up? What exactly prompted this coalition come up? Now, Nigerians complain that the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is terrible. They thought that his administration would be better off than the administration of Muhammadu Buhari. Now, when Muhammadu Buhari was coming on board in 2015, a lot of Nigerians supported because they felt it would be zero tolerance for corruption. But that did not happen when he came on board. For the first year of former President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure, the country was moribund. It was like there was no budget prepared. The ministers that he appointed, which took him 6 or 7 months, for the past 1 year, the president was in the UK treating himself. So the government of former President Muhammadu Buhari was slow. People were waiting. Investors who had their funds couldn't invest. They kept their monies in their bank. They weren't certain of the market. They weren't certain of his policies. They weren't certain of what his core was going to be like. And the individuals that will be in charge of all these core areas of Nigeria's economy. So the expectation was when the administration of Muhammadu Buhari supposedly disappointed them, they thought that, okay, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who obviously had his own term as the governor of Lagos State and did instituted long-term project and infrastructural initiatives, that he will replicate that at the federal level. But a lot of Nigerians are disgruntled. They aren't happy with this development. They're complaining. And for them at this point, initially it was let Tinubu go, but now they're saying anybody, let Tinubu or the APC go. Right now, they don't want the APC. So the question is, if the APC brings a different candidate, will Nigerians be receptive? Or is it just President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that's the issue? Secondly, if the president is the issue, in what aspects concurrently is this administration supposed to focus on that they're not focusing on? Because obviously the projects or the policy implementation of the administration seem not to be people friendly. Just recently, IMF made a report saying that the people at the grassroots are not feeling it. Now, why is a talk on the coalition on board? Several of the president's aides have been reacting to the opposition, the coalition. They say that it's just 2 years. Why can't the administration be patient? Why can't Nigerians be patient? And that these people are power grabbers. Now, Segun Showunmi believes that it is the North causing the chaos. They feel they need to always be in power. Why is it that anytime it's time for the South or the South is coming on board, the North will start creating some form of agitation, wanting special treatment, and if that special treatment is not given to them, they feel they have the sole opportunity for creating chaos in the polity. And that is what he referred to the individuals within the coalition. I want us to take a brief listen to Segun Showunmi. I think this was very recent, I think yesterday or so, during a Monitor television program. Very briefly, let's listen to him and then we'll continue with the conversation.
Especially those that are looking for where to contest election, to scheme, to plan, to jump, to hop about like monkeys looking for one platform after the other. But statesmen and those who are interested in the long-term play of the development of nations will keep looking at what is our history, where are we now, what can we project that will be in the future. The major thing I see with them that is energizing them is Peter. With due respect to everybody, if Peter Obi had not done as well as he did the last time, I'm not even sure they will even have the guts to be talking about that type of coalition now. I pity him that he has allowed himself to go and join the the same set of people that have been calling themselves candidates all the time. We have run this country between 1914 till date, when we got into democracy in 1999, on an idea. And that idea is what has kept our very unique country together. And that is that the country, we run it on a pendulum. The power goes to the north, we try to make it stay for 8 years for stability, and they complete their term. Then it swings to the south, and same way. We had a misfortune, Yaradua died, and naturally because we balanced power, good luck Billy Jonathan became president. Ironically, these elements we did not even allow him to do his mandatory one more term. jumping here, jumping there, are the same ones now jumping around. And we are beginning to see a pattern which is not acceptable. And that pattern is that anytime a southerner is in charge of the country, there's always a convenient, noisy narrative that suggests that the country is not being properly run. But anytime a northerner is in charge of the country, they pretend as if they are ostriches. They have no opinion to put on the table. They have no suggestion to put on the table. And then they say, oh, let him just finish it. So then the question would then be, are we running a country where the North is going to be bullying the South all the time? And if then that be the case, why should we agree to that? So I think that is the first reason why you can never find me in that kind of coalition. The second reason is that no human being, no matter how ambitious, should have no capacity to respect the principle of droning and rotation. Power, they will say power is in the North now for administrative convenience. You will say you are interested. They will bring the power back to the South. You will say you are interested. They will flip it back to the North. You will say you are interested. They will bring it back, come on. And then you ask, who has given you the right to be the perpetual destabilizer of parties? And then when you then leave that and drop it aside and bring the antecedent of those that are now suddenly repackaging themselves as new people in this country, your heart bleeds. You know what they did with themselves. Part of the challenges we have in this democracy, if we were to trace it to 1999, we can start by saying, number one, how did we even get to a point in this country where president and vice president don't enjoy automatic, harmonious, thoughtful relationship? It's down to them. Fighting, excessively ambitious, unwilling and unable to be loyal to their principle. Today, we are just beginning to manage ourselves out of that. If you ask, why do we have a concept of budget pardoning in the consensus project? I've gotten used to the fact that we all accuse them of what we cannot prove. The consensus project in National Assembly, it was also not supposed to be so. That's not the way democracy envisioned the legislator. It was because, again, they made it their habit to be bribing and bribing and bribing and bribing until the leader at that time, who is an expert in managing men and material, chose to put a legislative opportunity that is strategically able to give the legislator some element of freedom. Look at what that has caused. Now, if you now look at the issues where jumping from party to party has become easy, how do you explain to yourself that someone has been vice presidential candidate twice, presidential candidate twice? Oh, my party is having problem, and then the next thing is that you want to sort of bring a coalition of people to come and say that we are going to now run a country of democracy. If you cannot do succession, if you cannot accept that in the course of nation building, there's time for you to pass the baton to younger ones, then I think it's the duty of younger ones to say, no, we will not allow you.
All right, now the argument here by Nigerians is that they do not trust the statement that Segun Showumi is saying. Some persons say, who is the master strategist for encouraging people leaving their political parties to the current All Progressives Congress? When people leave their parties and join the APC, it's not wrong. They are not jumping jack, all right, or they are not doing anything constitutionally wrong. But others decided to join and form a coalition, and now seems very wrong. All of a sudden, morality is the center of the day, considering the fact that almost all the politicians are the same fellows with the same trajectory and the same antecedents, everybody having one interest, which is a grab for power. Anyone who says otherwise is looked in at the prism of deceit or deception. While in that regard, questions were asked onto Omoyele Sowore. Mr. Sowore, why are you not part of the coalition? Why have you decided not to be part of the coalition? Well, he actually had a lot to say. Let's take a very brief listen to him. Because for Omoyele Sowore, he believes that Peter Obi or any other person being part of that coalition are basically certain persons of the same interest. He called them terrible fellows. Let's take a listen to this.
For me, the issue of the coalition is a personal issue, to some extent. Of course, there's also a general issue about governance and about politics. But there are just too many people in the coalition that you had mentioned that I can't even sit across the table from, personally, without being tempted to, act out of my own personal character. So that's the issue. I cannot ignore those things. I can't ignore so many of the people in the coalition who have done Nigerians dirty, who have done what is regarded as evil. People who we know have no conscience, they have no character, they have no pedigree. There's no amount of conditions you can give to them that will make them wash their ways, or change the way they have behaved or the way they used to behave. These are typically people whose way of life is doing evil, or doing bad, being corrupt, shortchanging the public, being selfish. So there's no condition that is available for them. The only conditions I have are those ones that will help me help the Nigerian people, those of us who want the country to be saved, both from the people who are ruling the country and the ruling party, and those who are planning to come and pounce on the Nigerian people. These people have all sat at one time or the other. You know their story. I've documented. Why probably I'm different is that I have documented their lifestyles. I've documented their ways of doing things. I've documented the capacity, and come to the conclusion based on empirical evidence that any country that's leaving the current ruling party and hands its future into the hands of members of the coalition you are mentioning, that country or those kind of people are only moving from destruction to perdition.
All right, that's Omoyele Sowore. He believes that the set of persons in the coalition does not represent the kind of future that Nigeria wants, and the certain persons in that coalition are persons who have contributed to the current situation that Nigeria is currently facing, especially the economic doldrum. Now, let's look at this. For example, the political tension or the political situation, the hemisphere in the country has become very tense. A couple of persons are saying, like what happened in Lagos in 2023, that they will not let it happen. We saw a very recent video that went viral on social media. A message was being passed across by the NURTW boss. His name is Sego, I think, and he was actually speaking on a particular ethnic group, saying that anyone who wants to come out and vote in 2027 and they're not voting for the APC specifically, then, it literally gave a threat. He was referring to the fact that what happened in 2023 will not repeat itself. So the question is that a democracy? So it means that anyone who is not for the administration of the day will not be allowed to vote? Others now came and said, well, it happened in other states, in Kano, in the southeast, whereby if you come to vote for the APC or any other political party, you're casted away, you're looked at as an outcast. So why can't they protect themselves and their own votes by saying if you're not coming to vote for their preferred candidate, you will not be allowed to vote? These things are already circulating on social media. Now, Nigerians are asking, where is the government of the day, the DSS, the security operatives, where they're already spreading divisive comments, making rhetorics of having to hurt, injure people, or possibly destroy their properties if their favored candidate will not be the one that will be the sole representative at most of the polling units come 2027. Nigerians are now calling on the National Orientation Agency as to what they have been doing all this while. The DSS, the security operatives, the police, the Nigerian army, they're seeing all of this on social media and they're not saying anything. In regards to that though, a supporter, basically one of the members in the coalition, also came out to express her doubts about the true intention of the coalition. For Doyin Dogara, she believes that she also finds the coalition members questionable, like a lot of Nigerians actually do. According to her, she believes that in as much as things are the way they are and the system seems to be the way it is, you have to be in bed with these bedfellows because you understand how power plays or how power works. Well, we're going to look at that in the course of the conversation. I'll play a little bit of what she said concerning that, and then we will now I'll call my analyst who will be joining us today, Barrister Eze Eluche, who will be giving us his insight into these issues and how it's going to affect some of the promises or policy implementation of this administration if they are not sporadic and they do not accelerate the developmental ideas.
Constitution in Nigeria today and has been for the past 3 years. I'm talking about from the year preceding the election when he left the PDP to become a candidate in his own right. I also would like to remind everybody that Peter ran alongside Atiku in 2019 and they didn't do that well. So there's something about Peter on his own that seems to work.
Right.
Now, when I go to other places, like I went to Sierra Leone recently, lots and lots of people said to me, do you know Peter Obi? Once they found out I was Nigerian, Sierra Leoneans. When I am in London, Uber drivers, even Yoruba ones, who you would think would be Ashiwaju, often say, Madam, what do you do? And I tell them, and they say, do I know Peter Obi? That Peter Obi is their man. So I just think he's very, very popular. Do you know what I think? This is a very radical thought, I suppose. I think the only other person who could possibly have gained this kind of traction if he'd had the opportunity to run would have been Oshibajo, the former vice president. I think if the APC process had thrown Oshibajo up, I think he could have given Peter a run for his money in terms of public perception and popularity.
But I mean,
honest with you, I was very concerned and still am concerned to some extent. And I know a lot of Obedients are really, really, really unhappy about this issue about bedfellows. But the thing is, can Peter win on his own? Can this country be delivered from APC rule by Peter Obi as a single entity, a solo entity? I don't know. But it's always the safety in numbers, okay? And I think it's almost impossible to be a member of any club or alliance in which you like everybody who's involved. It was the same thing in 2013, 2014, when was it ACN and CPC were coming together to form the APC. Look, most people are only interested in Buhari. Because Buhari had this image of being a man with a ramrod straight spine who didn't take nonsense, was very, very allergic to corruption. And I, for one, I fell for it. You know, I wasn't interested in the rest of them. And most people I know who supported Buhari had the same thing. It was like, oh, well, all right, if we have to put up with Tinubu as well and this person and that person, fine. But the real person we want is Buhari. I think at that time they said by himself he could command 12 million votes from Talakawas, which is poor people in the north, the masses. And I think Peter's a bit like that. You know, by himself he can command millions of votes. And there are some good people in the ADC alliance, just like there were in the APC. I mean, it wasn't only Buhari who commanded my respect in 2013, 2014. And it isn't only Peter who commands my respect now. But there's definitely going to be a lot of people dotted around whom you really rather not see standing next to him.
All right, so that's Doyin Dogara. Now, here is also a funny thing. In the coalition, there are talks of who will be the presidential candidates, all right, who will be the flag bearer. And Atiku Abubakar has come out to debunk the talks that he wants to run as a president, and the fact that if the opportunity presents himself, he has never said he would not step aside or would not be like an elder statesman to support his southerner. Everyone just has a preemptive speculation about his personality. According to him, he says it is false. This statement was made by his media aide, Paul Ibe. Now, while the coalition is trying to coagulate or trying to become firm, as you can consider, they're accusing the All Progressives Congress of creating issues within the party. Now, they're also saying that the reason is because Bayo Onanuga, the presidential spokesperson, or rather a special advisor on information and strategy, alleged that the opposition was planning to overthrow the government before the 2027 general election. I think he later deleted that tweet. But that was a very dangerous thing that was being done. And that's why Nigerians are asking the question. Most of the ethnic tension, most of the rivalry because of politics, is it state-sponsored? Is it being sponsored by the executive? For those who may critique the administration of the day. Well, let's look at this. Today, a statement issued by Bolaji Abdullahi, the Interim National Publicity Secretary of the ADC and spokesperson for the opposition coalition, described Onanuga's comment as reckless, malicious, and dangerous. He warned that it could signal a broader campaign of intimidation against dissenting voices. And I told you that has already commenced. Sego, one of the NURT bosses, spoke on social media, actually making such a threat to anybody who may want to vote any other political party other than the All Progressives Congress. Now, here is also the talk. For example, you do know that since the coalition is also in the midst, and the fact that persons are saying you need to step down for certain persons because it's the time of the South or the South, either the Southeast or the South, that Atiku Abubakar needs to understand that what happened in the PDP has the potential of happening within the coalition. Also, you know that the legitimacy of the coalition is already being questioned as to the fact that some certain persons, 3 of them, have sued the leadership of the coalition to court. So that is something that the current David Mark leadership will also have to look into and address. success? Well, there is a serious scheming among top politicians in the coalition over the choice of presidential candidate for the 2027 elections. According to some sources within the coalition, that facts have emerged regarding the decisions of some of the prominent politicians to withdraw from the arrangement after findings have shown that Atiku's camp is planning an underground operation that may conflict with the wishes of others, potentially affecting the purpose of the coalition in 2027. Sources also disclosed that they have revealed that the Atiku may likely adopt the SDP as its official party to run in 2027. Another source said the latest development revealed that some politicians are already scheming to hijack the party, while the likes of Peter Obi and El-Rufai have vowed to pull out of any underground move. In other words, anything that doesn't authenticate what the coalition is meant to stand for, which is democracy, liberation, something different from what the current administration operates, they are no longer going to be part of it. So, efforts to register All Democratic Alliance are becoming frustrating over the response and conditions of INEC. All right, and which has led to some politicians within the party to be pointing accusing fingers to the Electoral Commission. One thing to note is the fact that, for example, we know that Peter Obi is still a member of the Labour Party, Atiku is still a member of the PDP, none of them has officially left, and they are not card-carrying members of the ADC. Meanwhile, just yesterday evening, Kenneth Okonkwo came out to campaign for Atiku Abubakar and actually insinuating that it will make sense for Peter Obi or any southerner to be advised to Atiku Abubakar, because according to him, he feels that the North this time around would actually favor Atiku. He literally just actually spoke on the path of the fact that Atiku Abubakar will actually do the leading, and he was supposedly engineering possibly that supporters should come from the base of looking at Peter Obi having to either be advised to Atiku, or if Atiku does do what he needs to do at the primary and he emerges, every kind of support should go towards him. So the big question is this, while I'm trying to contact Barrister Eze Eluche, is the obedience are saying it is Peter Obi or nothing. The articulates are saying it is Atiku and any other person. But there is a difference between how internal primaries are conducted and how the delegate politics is conducted. In other words, the ticket is not given to you automatically. You need to fight for it, which means every form of negotiation, lobbying needs to be employed. But a couple of persons are afraid that if that happens, Atiku would floor Peter Obi in that regard. He may not have the dollar that Atiku has. However, I actually have Barrister Eze Eluche joining me via the telephone. Barrister Eze Eluche, good evening, and thank you for joining us today on the Evening Rush. I've been trying to contact you. I do hope that you can hear me. Can you hear me, sir? Good evening. Hello, Barrister Fred. Can you hear me? Hello, sir. Good evening, sir. How are you? Good evening. Thank you for joining me, sir.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much for the invite.
Thank you so much. Barrister Eze Eluche, so I'm going to talk about the coalition because as it stands, that's what those in government who are meant to be working and ensuring that they're delivering governance to the people and Nigerians and even the opposition, they're all talking about. Barrister Fred Nzako, right now, Barrister Eze Eluche, there are talks that Peter Obi or El-Rufai may actually leave the coalition because there are elements disclosing that Atiku wants to use the party for himself. Dumebi Atiku actually did a press conference when he said that they came to meet him, and from the first day they came to meet him, that was basically what they said. And so he said his party will not be a special purpose vehicle for somebody who has been a consistent contester or campaigner for presidency to take over the leadership of his party, and so he did not further any conversation with him. As it stands at this point in time, Kenneth Okonkwo said something on the contrary. Kenneth Okonkwo feels that when it comes to internal delegation and the politicking within them in terms of achieving a primary, he feels that Atiku would help with the North in terms of getting the Northern support. So Nigerians are now saying that why do we need the same crop of politicians if we want to do something different? And how are you using the same ode to want to defeat a President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who right now is at the federal level and who has a connection and a strong connection to all the institutions that can make any election hold sway? How do you react to this?
You see, the reality is this. I mean, a coalition of the opposition parties is what can actually kick this APC out, this APC that has degraded Nigerians. So when you look at all these initial schisms, initial issues which are being raised, it's like just trying to create dust. I urge most people to look deep into this crisis. You will see the fingerprints. You will see the fingerprints of the ruling APC embedded in them. At this stage, there is still a coalition being formed. People are coming together to discuss. Of course, the discussions are not even started. For goodness sake, the elections is still over 1 year, almost 1.5 years away. So let the coalition build. Let the parties get used to each other. That is how these things work. The loquacious young man you mentioned, who is talking about supporting Atiku, not supporting Atiku. Yes. This is a guy whom I can assure you is being used by the same APC. He's been gallivanting from one party to the other. And each time he keeps on acting in a very loquacious manner, trying to, as if he knows what the hell he's talking about. But the reality is this: at this stage, anybody coming out to make emphatic statements, either in support of any presidential candidate, is an enemy of the Nigerian people. Because for now, we have a coalition building, and you need this coalition. And let me warn, nobody is indispensable. Absolutely nobody from any zone. Because the issue is, how do we get these criminals who have held Nigerians hostage for the past 8 plus 10 years, since the time of Muhammadu Buhari? And somebody is not talking when they're not even coalesced properly. There's no structures of the parties. And somebody is coming out to talk, it must be from this zone or that zone. That is a silly comment by Kenneth Okonkwo. And I just totally disregard it. Because this is a man who works for Bola Tinubu. Are you sure he's not still working for Bola Tinubu? The moment he worked for a bit for Peter Obi, he turned around and started abusing Peter Obi all wrong, all over. Now he's trying to come in and work again for Bola Tinubu, for Atiku Abubakar. What the hell? We should learn who to jump in the battlefield bin of history. For now, for goodness sake. And all Nigerians should beware. What should be discussed, what should be the issues, how do you coalesce? How do these opposition elements, opposition parties, opposition factors, opposition titans, from different walks of life, from different ethnicities, how do they come together? And when they come together in the goodness of time, with proper politicking, they will be able to raise one person as the presidential candidate, and that person will go forth. I am not even at this stage sticking my neck out for anybody. Okay. But let this coalition become strong enough. That is what any patriotic Nigerian should be talking about. And those who are listening to this young man, the actor, who just jumped into politics and is now claiming it must be this because of that reason. Who gave him that audacity? Well, who told him that? And you won't even hear from the main combatants for now, because they are very sensible and enlightened politicians.
That's why I ask the question. I say, people who have been making these statements, for example, Segun Shewumi said he's disappointed that Peter Obi is part of this coalition because Peter Obi represented something different from, the usual norm and personalities who usually run for presidential elections. And others say that possibly Peter Obi has learnt from what happened in the previous election, and he realizes that he needs to work with certain persons regardless of how they are. So long as the administration of the day leaves and a new person emerges, then changes can be enacted. But barrister, there are fears that when it comes to proper politicking, like Atiku Abubakar knows, in terms of if they need to conduct a primary, there's how they lobby these delegates. You lobby people within the coalition. You tell them why you think that you should be chosen as a preferred candidate, and they say that if a primary free and fair is conducted, the Peter Obi stands a chance of losing. And the person who would actually floor him.
Why do you think so? Let me come in. Why do you think so?
No, it's not me. I've been listening to a couple of analysis, and that's because I feel Atiku knows how this game goes. He knows how to play this politics with these individuals, especially at that level.
No, dear. Let me come in at this stage.
Please do so.
The reality is that we need a drastic change in this country. Even Mr. Peter Obi that you say will never win primaries. He won in Lagos without even any kind of money compared with what Bola Tinubu earmarked in Lagos. And then Atiku Abubakar also won in some states. So for goodness sake, the issue of the presidential candidate should not be the main grounds now, the topic. The topic is let this coalition come strong, unify, and then at the right time, a candidate will emerge. And like I said, absolutely nobody is indispensable. Because Because so far we've seen how many people have been killed, how many people have been pauperized, how many people have been destroyed, how many businesses have left this country under this vicious rule of the APC. Are Nigerians willing to take that for the next 4 years? I'm sure the answer is no. If the answer is no, reasonable Nigerians will coalesce. I mean, let us look. The issue of religion, ethnicity, zone, or whatever is secondary. There must be unity of purpose first. That's why I say anybody who is at this stage saying it must be A, it must be B, is either a paid agent of these same APC characters, or is a confused, trying to make Nigerians more confused as he is. So for now, let this coalition get strong, and at the right time, the right candidate will come up. But I can assure you, most Nigerians, the issue now is how do you get these jackasses that have messed up our lives out of politics, out of the government house, out of the Aso Rock? That should be the target.
All right, Barrister El-Rufai. So let's look at the issues within this administration that a lot of Nigerians feel they can no longer tolerate for the administration to continue. And the reason why I'm asking this is it the APC that Nigerians are disgruntled with, or it's the personality who is in charge under the APC, and that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu? Because a couple of persons felt maybe if Yemi Osinbajo was touted by the party, it wouldn't be like this. Others feel that maybe it's just the APC as a party. Ever since it took over in 2015, the party has disappointed. So it's like any candidate who emerges, they don't trust us because they seem to be working on the same blueprint. Now, the main question is about some of the policies of this administration. I'm going to start off with two important policies of this administration, which they actually said are viable, and they have started disbursing funds for. One is NEL Fund. The second one is Credit Corps. The Nigerian Education Loan Fund disbursed about 56.85 billion naira in loans, and this is to cover tuition fees and provide upkeep allowances for 298,124 students in 198 tertiary institutions across Nigeria in 1 year. The problem is this: how many people know about the the viability of this policy implementation? Who are those that are the beneficiaries, and why are there no testimonials in any of the NEL Fund website or even the spokespersons? Because these are the projects that are meant to be putting out there rather than having to respond to the opposition. Do you think that this particular project implementation by the administration is a good one, if only Nigerians can be patient? It's just 2 years for these things to be felt at the grassroots.
Thank you very much. You asked two questions, so let me start with the very first one.
Okay.
The issue is that in Nigeria, all the political parties, there is virtually no difference between any of the political parties.
Okay.
There is none that you can say identify with any particular ideology. And you look at the leadership, most of the parties, the leadership or the major titans in those parties have been in virtually 2 or 3 or 4 parties in the past. So with Nigerians being disgruntled, or Nigerians' issues with the current leadership, it's not really about the APC. It's rather about the person who is occupying the Aso Rock. Because like we all know, the fish rots from the head. If the head was good, if the head was decent, everybody would try to be decent and fall in line. But if you have a head which is perceived as evil, actually, as diabolical, as ethnocentric, the entire, or as even tribal or ethnic, the entire system is messed up. So that's what we're having in Nigeria now. Nigerians perceive the person at the head of the government to be a don, and I'm using a don in the most sinister connotation of that word. Nigerians perceive Mr. Bola Tinubu as a don who heads a very vicious gang. That's why we don't have trust or confidence in all the things he's doing. With regards to the NEL Fund, like you rightly said, they have issued 50-something billion.
Yes.
To who? How? What was the process? Was it advertised? And already there is issues that some of these vice chancellors have pocketed some of the monies which were meant for students. What was the implementation? Was it tested? Was there even a test case, a pilot release of these funds to be sure it will work? Or you just release 50-something billion to the skies, and now you're trying to do assessment of how these funds are released? That is the issue with this government. There's no trust in the person who is heading the entire government, and he is populating it with his cronies, mostly ethnic cronies or those he used in Lagos. So how will Nigerians trust that kind of system? And yes, apart from Nelfon, there are other things the government says, which ordinarily, if all things were right, could have been good. But with the kind of personality who is manning the process, who people report to, how can it be good? And it's like they keep on recycling criminal elements. The Ganduje, who was as governor of Kano State, seen pocketing dollars bribes, was made the APC chairman, and when he was removed from the APC, he's now taken to be the chairman of a very sensitive outfit, like FAN, the Federal Aviation Authority.
Yes.
How can you put such a tainted character?
Don't you consider it to be compensation?
Good, but you can compensate him with putting him in the central bank. Wait, hello.
I'm listening to you, sir. The analyst in the studio is just hearing this for the first time.
Let him take the money in the central bank. But if you put him in the aviation sector, a very technical area, are you going to risk planes falling from the skies with this kind of man there? That's the problem. If you want to compensate him, put him in the central bank, put him in the mint, put him in NNPC. He will make his money there. But you don't bring him to aviation, and he'll be person responsible. You know, aviation is every second of the aviation industry counts. And this is the man you've deemed fit to put there, to recycle him.
I don't understand what the initiative. To be honest with you, I don't know what the supporters think about this, because Festus Keyamo announced this today. So I wonder if they question some of the appointments that the president makes, and to what aspect these certain persons will enable the PR of the administration. It's something that a lot of Nigerians have been talking about, but the supporters will support anything and wouldn't question.
These supporters, they are paid attack dogs. These guys will celebrate the devil if the devil comes to burn their houses. All the supporters, right from the SA on media, who is always blabbing crap, and I'm trying to see who he can abuse. They are attack dogs, from Boala to Reno Mokri to all of them. These are people who lack substance. They back anywhere, what we call anywhere beleface.
All right.
Don't give them any kind of money and they will talk whatever they want to talk. That's the kind of people that we're working with.
Barrister, Credit Corps, right, is it's on 3 tripods actually, and one of their main aim is to reorient the credit cultural reform. It's a pillar of strength to connect people and give them access to credit. They opened their social media accounts just last year, April 2024. That's when Credit Corps came up. And if you go to their social media handle, where they're supposed to be putting up names of recipients, companies, registered companies that have come to meet them to get access to credit, I'm looking at it right now. The only thing where I'm just saying is most like, the kickoff event for the 20 billion naira consumer credit fund for locally assembled automobiles. We did not see the recipients of the persons. We also saw another advert saying 73 million Nigerians come together. 83% of them cannot access credit. We're going to do it for them, but we did not see the recipients of all this. So these are good policy initiatives of this administration. My question is, why are we not seeing these individuals who are benefiting from it? Why are they not being advertised on their platform? We're not even seeing anybody come out to speak on it. So what is it? Do we have policy implementation only on paper and they're not achievable, or they don't have any physical effect? I need to understand. Or is it a stage by stage process? Maybe it's too early. There's still some foundational works being created for the long term of this, because monies have already been released in some of these policy initiatives for them to become viable. How would you describe this?
The reality is this, like I say, and I keep on saying, you have to look at the person who is initiating these things. What is his pedigree? What is his antecedents? What has he done before? What can he do? When you're looking at the person of Mr. Bola Tinubu, you look at how he governed Lagos State, how he used Alpha Beta, which was linked to him to collect taxes, and what happened and all that stuff. So that is what Nigerians are witnessing at the federal level. We have allowed mediocrity to climb from Lagos State to the center. And now the entire country is now suffering the pangs of mediocrity. Because this thing has been announced, and you can't trace it because it was not set up to work.
Barrister, let me tell you something. The last time when they kicked off was last year, September 2024, when they kicked off the Credit Corps. Now, they keep advertising. You don't have to save money for years to buy the car or solar system
Yes.
or house. With credit, you can access
Yes.
what you need now and pay responsibly over time. So they wrote again that in just months, Credit Corps has helped tens of thousands of Nigerians access life-enhancing goods and services through their partner financial institutions. But then we did not see these partner financial institutions. We haven't seen names and lists of persons who are recipients or who have benefited from this Credit Corps. So the issue I'm always having is this again. The administration, specifically being headed by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has brilliant ideas. That's one. Two, a house does not stand on its own. You need several pillars to hold the house down. What is going on with persons who are meant to be in charge of ensuring that these policies are implemented? And who is monitoring to ensure that these policies are actually having its impact on the populace?
Look, the appointments reflect the person of the person making the appointments. I mean, if you can't score above your height. So the person who is making the appointment can only select those who are like him, and that's what we are suffering in this country. That's what Nigerians must understand. The man cannot do better than what he is. So you can only, and if you come from a mindset of getting your returns, setting your boys, putting your people in the way they can make money, that kind of mindset cannot develop any society. So Credit Corps, Nel Fund, NNPC, all the beautiful, lofty ideas of this regime cannot go beyond the person of the head of the regime. And look, that is why no matter what, you must look at his antecedents. And that is always the reason why people now say, to make this effective change, you must look at those who will be aspiring to become president. What is their antecedent? What have they been doing out of office and in office? Have they been investing in education, in the health sector, or have they just been investing in politics? So that is the things Nigeria should be looking at. And good enough, the major candidates of the opposition party are even people who have invested or tried to give back to society, either via education, their health, or their other things. Unlike the incumbent who sold stock in trade, has been politics. And you didn't hear wrong. I said politics, not politics.
Barrister Eze Eviche, you know now that there's a policy, if you have above 5 million naira in your account, you'll be taxed.
Yes.
Did you hear about that? Can you
Yes, sure, I
explain
did.
what does that mean?
Yes. Now, what it simply means is that this man, the president, is keeping faith to his words before the elections. If you recollect, there was he was addressing the crowd when he said they will expand the tax net. They will constrict the economy. I mean, you wonder why a man. Initially they just thought he was misspeaking, that they had wrong. But the man knew what he was saying. He wants to destroy the economy and enlarge the tax base. Okay, if the people are no longer employed, if the factories are all gone, and you are expanding the tax base, are you going to tax the dead? Are you going to tax those who can't send their children to school? Are you going to tax those who can't even eat 3 square meals a day? So what he is doing now, 5 million, you will be paying tax. The Federal Revenue Service will get to make sure you pay your taxes.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
It's like your bank will even be alerted. For you to have 5 million, that means you have a company or something for you to have that amount in your account and you'll be taxed.
No, the issue is he's keeping faith to his own word, to his very diabolical words, that he will constrict the economy and enlarge the tax base. So but Nigerians will only learn more, because most likely people will think alternate means. Some will start even putting their monies in their houses.
But that's going to be dangerous because right now people would know that and start attacking people in their homes because they feel like they're no longer comfortable saving money in the banks.
How does it concern a government that has not bothered about security issues? That goes to visit people where ethnocentric genocide is taking place and only tells them to harbor their enemies. How does it concern this government? That is the more reason why Nigerians should ensure that the coalition to uproot this diabolical regime works, and we should not scuttle it with initial crisis at this onset, which the APC was very, very happy to even ensure it works.
Okay, do you think it's the APC or is it certain persons in this coalition who are also trying to fight for their own interest? Because every time
No,
issues
I,
like this happen, you say the APC, although the ADC spokesperson had alleged that the APC members, some of them, are trying to seduce some persons within the ADC to create a form of confusion to delegitimize the party. They're also insinuating that INEC is within the chokehold of the administration because a lot of pending cases, INEC has refused to look into them as fast as possible. Number one is the situation with Labour Party. Even the ADC too had an impending issue that was meant to be resolved by INEC, but it stayed with them for a long time. It became moribund and everybody went their way. Everything resurfaced now that the party ADC is being considered a coalition, convergence point. So if everyone is crying for electoral reforms and INEC, a very sensitive institution that determines the fate of Nigeria during any electoral dispensation, seems to have been taken over or bought over, its conscience bought over by the government of the day, what hope is there for elections to be conducted onwards if this is the way it is?
well, the one thing we Nigerians must realize is that INEC should not be allowed to determine the fate of Nigerians. Rather, it is Nigerians that will determine the fate of INEC.
How do you propose that, sir? How would you propose
well,
that?
no, well, that is how it should be. That is how it is done in every democratic society. You don't allow people that are put there by a commission or whatever to determine the fate of the country. Rather, Nigerians, when they decide that, when they understand that their votes is their life, they will be the ones to determine the fate of INEC.
And that's why I asked you, if certain persons,
Yes.
for example, I told you in Lagos, a certain person came out addressing the crowd and mentioning a particular geographical location, like that is the only geographical location that exists in this state, that any one of them by 2027 who decides to come and vote for any other political party other than the APC, you literally threaten them. So if that is the case, and this is a political party in power right about now, how do you intend for people to hold on to their vote regardless of what INEC does? What kind of strategy needs to be employed? Is anybody ready to die for whatever it is they stand for when some persons don't trust the crop of politicians who are even in this coalition? So who is a Nigerian that is ready to die for any of these individuals?
Well, nobody is ready. Those who ask who is ready to die, the issue is how many people have been alive for the past 2 years. Because alive is not just to breathe in and breathe out. Alive is more than breathing in and breathing out. So how many Nigerians have died? And while breathing, they have died and been reburied. So it's for Nigeria to determine, is it worth the stress of another 2 years or another 4 years of this kind of regime? And when we make a proper decision, when we arrive at the proper decision, we will know what to do. And when Nigerians decide that enough is enough, they will make enough be enough. It's not the first time it's happening anywhere in the world. Mm-hmm. And so there will be a popular movement to decide that enough is enough. When you realize that the way things are going on, you can hardly pay the school fees of your children. You can't even pay consultancy fees in hospitals. You can hardly travel on the roads, even to one's village for observances. You will decide, is it worth living? Or can we just make sure we make a little sacrifice and put a stop and say enough is enough? Now, with regards to who is really initiating all this crisis, and look at what is going on with PDP and what the role that Nyesom Wike is playing there.
Yes.
Look at what is going on in Labour Party and the role that the Apara and his colleagues there are playing. And you begin to wonder, somebody is still asking, is this thing being orchestrated by the ruling party?
Yeah.
No, it's coming from hell. It's coming from hell. But we know, Nigerians are wiser. And like I said from the onset, when the African Democratic Congress came on board, people should always know that this may eventually not be the platform.
Okay.
But yes, the coalition is building around it, but there's always a plan B and plan C. Because when Achebe said in his book, when the hunter has learned to shoot when the bird has learned to fly without perching, the hunter has also learned to shoot without missing. So yes, the APC think they are very smart, they are very good at politics and all that stuff, but then they also see the other side of midnight. Because their focus now is ADC, but I wouldn't be surprised if down the lane something else crops up that will take everybody on our way.
Would you say that the unveiling of the coalition, the ADC, would you say it's too soon? And would you say it's a political strategy to distract the current government, because a couple of Nigerians said immediately the coalition came on board, all this policy implementation that were being announced immediately became something that was activated. Your Naira card, now you can do some international transactions with it. A couple of signatures that have not been signed, that have been moribund and waiting on the table of the president, has been signed. Some people also think that the administration of the day is also supporting this coalition, that some members within the APC are actually supporting this coalition. They are in the APC, but they are supporting the coalition. What they are supporting the coalition for, we don't know if it is for bad or if it is for good. But the initial concept is, some persons think, is the drama unveiling in the coalition is deliberate, which obviously seems like the government of the day and the officials have fallen into the trap, because they have all been talking about it. We have all been talking about it, and permutations and whatnot is being raised up. But do you think this coalition can pull up what the CPC and the ACN did way back in 2014, 2015?
If I was those in the APC, I'll be worried about even the structure and strength of the APC. Because the APC for now is like a gang of criminals who the only thing that is holding them together is the loot they will share. That is the only thing holding the APC together now. So the reality is this: they should be afraid of themselves. Because I wouldn't even, I mean, if I was the chairman or even the president himself, I wouldn't be sure where my vice is headed to, or where even the various governors in the APC, where they owe allegiance to. Because this, like any you know, when loot sharing is a very dangerous thing among when criminals go to rob, to share the loot is always the problem.
Okay.
So now they have robbed Nigerians, they are now in the process of sharing the loot, and that is when they will scatter. So for Nigerians to hope that the coalition that is being built to upstage them works out, that is why we must all ensure that at this teaching stage, at this initial stage, the issue should not be who will fly the flag, who will do this. Let the coalition be strengthened. Let even the options for a plan B or plan C be available and ready at the last minute. Then we'll take care of how the INEC and AP and the judiciary when the time comes.
Now, Barrister El-Rufai, let's look at your department, the judiciary. Nigerians literally called out the judiciary in 2023. Remember, all eyes on the judiciary tagline during the electoral, during the electoral, the interim body that was set up to investigate all the evidence to prove that either PDP or Labour Party won the election instead of APC. That was the tribunal. Yes, that's what I'm trying to get, the tribunal. Now, Nigerians are concerned about the objectivity, the method of balance, the blind balance. You remember that justice is not meant to be biased, and justice is not meant to see. Justice based on verifiable evidence presented does what it needs to do when it's right. But there's a lot of question about Nigeria's judiciary, and they feel that the politicians and the administration of the day have utilized that sacrosanct institution for their own benefits. On several occasions, it seems to be so. So, at the end of the day, elections are conducted, people vote, and the judiciary now determines who actually won that particular election. So if the judiciary are the ones that eventually gives the final say at the court, at the apex court, what was the point of conducting elections? What was the point of people going to the polls if the person who decides the fate of Nigeria ends at the court?
Well, I think the Professor Odinkalo wrote a book, This Electorate, where he said that Nigeria is not really a democracy because ultimately it is the courts that decide who wins. That's by what's transpired at the votes.
Yeah.
So yes, it's a problem quite well. But I'm sure the judiciary also, they don't live in a vacuum. They also live in societies. And if the society is well informed, they will be able to let those in the judiciary understand the consequences of repeats of rascality.
How would they do that, Barrister? Justice Kekereokun came on board, and the first thing that a lot of the NBA members wrote to her was the back and forth ruling in Rivers. Can you remember? Today you hear the state court gives a ruling, tomorrow you hear the appeal court. It was really confusing. It almost feels like they enabled the political tension in Rivers. So again, that's why. And then we've heard some of those lawyers, senior lawyers, and even judges say that the politicians threaten them. They intimidate them. They influence their decisions. They have said it on several occasions. A situation where you don't, your career may not even take off. So if that is the case, how do we now trust a system that supposedly at the end of the day determines the future of Nigerians?
No, the reality is this. I mean, when it appears impossible, when it appears insufferable, that's when it's about to end. And I just must bear that in mind and be ready to pay the ultimate price. I mean, be ready for the ultimate sacrifice. Because most Nigerians are actually living dead. I'll call them the living dead, because when you are alive and you are seeing yourself deteriorate, you're seeing your family, your environment deteriorate, you're actually even better off gone. So most Nigerians are the living dead. It's now for them to now be able to translate that into action, into activity, that will ensure that this nonsense that we have been degrading to is brought to a final stop. And is it possible? Yes. Has it been done before? Yes. Can it be done in Nigeria? Certainly.
Barrister,
Those are the issues.
What are the vital institutions that makes up a democratic society?
Well, I wouldn't even call Nigeria a democratic society for now, because democracy has been totally bastardized in Nigeria. So let us just say we are a society, and then in any society there must be a cleansing mechanism. If it's judiciary or whatever that is becoming the obstacle to cleansing, then the people own the ultimate power, and they should be able to redress and address their problems. So forget those what we learned in school about democracy is power to the people, for the people, and all that stuff, or the three arms of government, because we have seen that in Nigeria now is virtually one arm of government, which is the executive. But let the people decide, let the people be sufficiently motivated to say enough is enough. I keep on repeating that phrase because other societies have done it. Can we do it in Nigeria? Certainly we can. But it's to put our mind on it and be willing to do it and be willing to bear the sacrifices which we have all been bearing in the past couple of years. It's just to translate the sacrifices into effective action that can bring all these pains to an end.
Barrister El-Rufai, finally, before I let you go, you've actually done quite a lot in having to give us insights into issues within Nigeria's political landscape, because that's basically what we focused on. Barrister, there are talks, for example, you know that in 2015, Nigerians felt that the president, that's President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was one that enabled the emergence of President Muhammadu Buhari, former President Muhammadu Buhari. Well, one of the aides have come out to say that Tinubu did not aid the emergence of Buhari and that did not happen. Do you think that that's the case? Because what we have heard is the opposite, that Tinubu actually made President Bola Ahmed, former President Muhammadu Buhari. And the person who is making this statement is the past secretary to the government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa. He dismissed the claims that Tinubu made the predecessor, Muhammadu Buhari. He admitted that the CPC controlled only one state, while the APC was being formed, maintained that the votes that delivered victory for APC came from the CPC and followers of Buhari. That's what he's saying. So it was the CPC that even gave the president vote. It's the followers of Buhari that gave the president vote. Others also feel that if indeed the former president wanted President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to emerge, that the Naira redesign policy wouldn't have been initiated a few months to when elections will kick off. So if Buhari did not want Tinubu to emerge and put up policies that would actually frustrate his easy emergence, then how would we say that he helped Buhari come on board? Because right now, Boss Mustafa is denying that was not the case.
Now, the reality is, Nigerians try to overhype this man, Bola Tinubu. It's not worth it. He never made Tinubu. He didn't even have the capacity to make anybody at 2015. If you recollect during the elections, before a few days to the election, the U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry, visited Nigeria, had stark warnings for Jonathan. A few days after John Kerry left, the then prosecutor of the ICC came in from the Hague, also with warnings for Jonathan. And Jonathan has severally repeated it, that the pressure was much. So what actually pushed him out, what pushed Jonathan out and brought in this Buhari fellow, was more of external influences. And then for some reason, Jonathan had sold his, it was not, the US didn't think he was worth it, and then they imposed it. For those who think that the West cannot impose rulers, they need to go back into history. And they need to look at the files of various government agencies in the West, the MI5, the CIA, and you will see a repeat severally when governments have been imposed on African countries. Buhari was actually imposed on Nigeria. Those who think that Tinubu was also an imposition. But you see, the problem is that those who were imposing these characters on Nigeria were more of the leftists, the Democrats. I don't think Republicans would have even gone this route or selected somebody like Tinubu to be there.
Let's look at this. Would you think that these politicians are just being unfair and impatient because it's a southerner that's the president? The administration of the day is alleging that it's just 2 years. The administration is still a baby, and these forces are fighting hook, right, and center to destabilize his government. And the Nigerians understand. Okay, go ahead, sir. Respond.
Please don't talk of southern or northern at this time. Don't. This man, the current president is a southern president. But what the hell? Has he done any good thing for the South? And the killing is not taking place in the South. Is the unemployment and hunger not even more in the South? So the issue is not southern. Don't let us use this dichotomy to keep on stressing issues. At the right time, wherever the person that is good for this country comes from, let him rule. Tinubu is the South, but in Osun State, they are better off than those who are in Imo or in Plateau. These are selfish characters. When Buhari was from the North, for 8 years he was there. Poverty index was greatest in the North. Even in Katsina State was terrible. The kind of poverty you have in the core North, where Buhari, who is president, came from for 8 years, was humiliating. So don't talk of South or North, because that is, or even talk of Christian and Muslim, because those things are not neither here nor there. The issue is, what is the personality? Who is the person as striving to rule? Is he worth it? What are his antecedents? When Buhari was made president, it was a tribal and ethnic, ethno-religious bigot that was made president, and he manifested it in his 8 years of government. Now you have brought in a Tinubu who has a track record of dubiousness, and he's going to keep on doing that. So when we are going to select the next president, Nigerians have to shine their eyes, like they say. Look at the person's antecedents, and don't even think of where he's coming from. Right. If a criminal is coming from my village to rule this country, I will be the first to say, don't ever bring this rascal in. And if the person that I feel is the best is coming from Gabarun Gala in Borno State, please bring him, let him move this country forward. Because those who thought that they could run away to Europe or to America, you see what's going on all over the world? There is Redskins are pushing Africans out of Europe, and Americans are not even pushing American citizens out of America. So we have to come back here and get this country right. I don't think that we can always run out of this country. That is the reality.
All right,
not or South or East, Christian or Muslim.
All right, Barrister. That particular last statement you made is vital. Africans are being pushed away from other countries, so their only safe haven is their country of origin, and we need to put hands together to ensure that our country of origin works for us. That's our only safe haven. Barrister El-Rufai, thank you so much. We'd like to get the reactions of Nigerians, and any questions posed, I'll definitely contact you so you can respond to that. But you can
thank you very much for the invite.
Conversation. Thank you so much, Barrister El-Rufai. It's time for us to get your reaction, but ladies and gentlemen, I have Mr. Lawal Ekundayo right here in the studio. Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, good evening. You're already part of the family, so I needed Barrister El-Rufai to give us all of those insights. So you're going to respond. You're going to respond to questions during the call session. We need to take calls now. So while you're here to respond to a couple of encumbrances that was mentioned by Barrister El-Rufai, being the fact that you have that insight, so you respond to some of the questions of the callers. All right, the number to call is 080-3692-9933, 080-3692-9933. All right, hello, good evening, how are you? Hello,
hello, Esther, how are you doing?
Your radio, sir.
Hello, Esther.
Hello, how are you, Remy?
I'm fine.
Welcome.
Yeah, good evening, your guest.
Barrister Eza and Mr. Lawal Ekundayo, good evening.
Yes, I'm Mr. Lawal as well. Good evening to both of them. I keep asking this question. If the Yakubu effect comes to play 2027, what are we going to do as Nigerians? What are we ready to do?
Okay.
We all witnessed 2023. We saw what Yakubu did, going against what the results were across board. All by himself, he took to announce another winner to have won at a certain state. If that happens, it's not all about just coalition. Coalition will be in charge of INEC. Coalition will be in charge of the Judiciary. Coalition won't be in charge of the security forces. So if they have used all these institutions to wage war against Nigeria, skew the system against Nigerians, what should we do? What are we going to do? That is my question.
All right. Thank you so much for calling. Okay. All right.
You want me to answer the
Yes,
question?
you can respond, please. That's your job
No.
here today.
Nigerians have forgotten that a journey of 1,000 miles starts with a step.
Okay.
If you want to protect your democracy, don't wait for when you have voted. Start the protection now.
Okay.
Start your work now. Some people have started. Some are already campaigning for the first time in the history of Nigeria. Even the people in power are already campaigning.
Have you gone to the FCT? Don't you guys complain that from the airports coming down like this, all the billboards, you will not see welcome to Abuja. It's the president's face all over, like it's everywhere, and no opposition can try that. Like it's like it's a
even
psychological.
in this airport here, this Murtala Mohammed airport road here now.
It's a psychological thing to just inadvertently, unconsciously have
less than
in your face.
Less than 2 years. So you see that, and the opposition are already mobilizing too. So everybody is talking. So Retu is also saying his own.
He just
so
talks.
No, I'm saying that
when you have pictures on your face and everywhere you go.
No. Okay.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Master.
How are you, sir?
I'm fine. I'm Edward calling from Sango.
Edward from Sango, please go ahead.
Yeah, you see, this coalition we are talking about. I can even advise most of the utterances in this coalition. They should be minimized, because from the utterances is where the ruling party knows where to penetrate them. They should know how to adopt discipline inside them. And many people are supposed to understand that whether APC joined to the coalition, it is the same them we fight with the present government. And where they are working on it, we the supporter, we know whom and who that we're supposed to vote inside. Number two, you people on the media, they are what we call investigative journalism. So most of these things that is happening in this country today, sometimes you people are causing it, because there is some time you need to invite people for questioning. Anybody, whether president or whether governor that is in the affairs of the emir of the affair of this country, need to answer many questions.
We do try to contact them, guys. It's not easy with these individuals. You know that. You should know that.
I'm coming. Many things have been swept under the carpet. Because if any present government did not, first of all, tackle insecurity, at the time we had that somebody, single individual, lost 20 member of this family. How can that kind of person fail? There's a lot. If this government are not doing what is required for them to do, we the masses, we are the owner of this country. We need to sweep them away.
Okay, thank you very much.
Sweep them away. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello. Good evening. Mr. Afunwa. Hey, what is going on?
I not hear you, but I believe you are hearing me.
You were shouting. No, are you
this
okay,
is the
sir?
Afunwa Adama. I'm calling from Idimu. I know hear you, but I believe you are hearing me. Let me continue to say what I try to say.
No, start from the beginning. I did not hear you from the beginning.
Coronation. What do you want to? What do you go make us to remove this government for 2027? Now we have been talking about every day. You don't talk about Peter Obi, we go talk about Atiku.
Hello.
When we remove this government, that's my own contribution.
Okay.
Every day, one word.
Okay. Hello, good evening. How are you? Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Atiku.
Yes, you are. What's your name, sir?
My name is Atiku. I'm calling from Ikorodu.
All right, go ahead, sir.
You know, I don't know that. I don't even understand whether you people understand this, Baba. From my own point of view, this Baba is not ready to leave this to leave power come 2027. I'm telling you the fact. If you notice something, you usually wear one cap. That cap, there's a figure 8 as logo on it. Do you know what that logo means? It means 8 years. He's ready to spend 8 years. So he has Nigeria in his pocket. He will do all means to ensure that come 2027, no matter how the election is peaceful, or he will rig it. I know this man from Lagos. So I know when he was governor of Lagos State, What did he do? He did nothing, virtually nothing. Look at the whole Lagos now. You have all Agberos everywhere, up and down. So I don't trust that man who is not ready to leave. No matter how the coalition and everything, he already have his plan. The Coastal Road, do you know how many years it's going to take to pay that Coastal Road? Is he going to use just one time to pay it? So that man, I don't trust him at all.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Well, you can never say. His administration may begin to pick up, and you would be happy or supposedly be content. I mean, Mr. Lawal, what do you think about that?
I'm looking at you now because when you are speaking about the future and somebody is feeling pain, at least you must alleviate the person's pain for now, which is not happening.
That is the fate. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Welcome.
Good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. How are you, sir?
I am fine. And good evening to your analyst.
Thank you. What's your name, sir?
This is Boyesin calling from Afromedia.
Afromedia. Boyesin, your voice is different today. Go ahead.
It is still my voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Please. All what we are, all the permutations, this, this. To me, the most important thing is just to make sure that this government is thrown out of power. Because in my life, I know how old I am now. I've not seen this kind of government before. The government that has taken over Judiciary, taken over the police, taken over the whatever, all other institutions. By the way, is it proper that an election that is still 2 years away? Now campaign has started. It started from this governor is decamping to the APC.
Yeah.
That person is candidate to APC. All these things. Why all this? And those who are supposed to talk are just keeping quiet. That's just my annoyance. Look at people like Tunde Bakri, the pastor, Wale Soyinka. So many of them who were against Jonathan.
Your voice is low, sir. Hello?
I'm already shouting. I'm already shouting.
Your voice just a fade, though.
Okay, maybe it's just the network.
It's better now.
Okay, so my submission is this. I urge Nigerians to bury their hatchet. Forget about tribal sentiments, tribal this, nepotism. Let them just support this coalition. Whether it is Obi, whether it is Atiku, whether anybody that's coming up, the first agenda is to put this government out of power first, so that Nigerians can use a sign of relief. That is just my concern. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. But my question, Mr. Lawal Ekundaya, is that as Nigerians are saying we want this government out, what if the person that comes to you people will now start saying, oh my God, we want it? You know, some people are wanting Buhari back. Do you know that?
Now, let me tell you something.
Hello.
Nigerians.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Off your radio, wait. Ahead. What's your name, sir?
Sorry. Hello, good evening.
I can hear you, sir. What's your name?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you very well, sir. What's your name?
Okay, my name is Emeka, calling from Okota.
All right, Emeka from Okota.
Concerning this coalition, I'm just concerned about the person that we, emerge as the presidential flag bearer.
Okay.
And looking at Atiku, that man age is no longer on his side. And if you are looking at Obi too, he is the person the people are really clamoring for. Now, if Atiku, if the party decided that Atiku is going to head the coalition and he become the presidential flag bearer, now, if he goes here and mess up the system just as the present one and Buhari messed up the whole system, what is Obi's chances in 2031? Because people will always make reference to it that if he knows better, why didn't he, the government that he supported, that he deputized, why didn't they do well? There are chances that people are not going to elect him 2031. So I'm looking at all these things. People should consider it. This is all I have to say for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much for calling. Hello, good evening. How are you? 080-3692-9933. That is the number to call. 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello?
Hello, welcome, sir. What's your name, please?
Good evening. The name is Star Person.
Sir?
The name is Star Person.
Oh, okay. All right. Go ahead.
I'm coming from Lagos.
All right, sir. Go ahead.
I once told this people that this coalition is not good. A lot of people are saying this and that coalition. Now we're having some hostage studies. Look at how everyone is talking that, oh, when the Peter Obi joined the coalition. Or there are some people who are deceiving him to join it. You know? The coalition is just an Atiku thing. And Atiku just want to get it. Let me tell you something. Some people are saying that Atiku is going to sponsor that. If it's not for himself, he's not going to do that trouble. Except the sponsorship is for himself. If it's for Obi, it's not going to stop everybody. So let's forget that. Obi should have stayed in the Labour Party with that his wife. That he Ahmed.
Yeah.
They should have stayed there and with all the followers he has, if they push a little further, I'm telling you, they'll get it. And let me tell you something about it. People should not be afraid of this issue. It's not that Nigerians are too gullible. You know? Nigeria is the only country that will come out to vote. You will be threatened with madness or whatever. You will tell you to go back, don't vote. He said you vote for myself. Where else in the world does it happen like that? It's in the high time that you don't wake up and fight for their lives. Instead of just being stupidly afraid. How can a few people be examining the mind of up to 300 million people? And people are just being naive about it. Is it not time people stood up and fight for their rights? If it means to attack, I don't know how many heads are defending.
All right, thank you very much for calling, okay? I was waiting for you to land, but thank you. 08036929933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good morning.
Good evening. How are you, sir? Turn down your radio.
Oh, good morning. Yeah. Good evening over there, please.
Good evening. Turn off your YouTube. Turn off your YouTube, sir. I can hear the previous caller talking.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Good morning or good evening over there.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is Alex. I'm calling from Malaysia.
From Malaysia. All right. So it's morning there.
Yeah.
Good morning to you then.
Yeah, it's
Go
morning.
ahead, please.
So, yeah, I've been watching you, following the update happening in this coalition and so on. Mm-hmm. And I believe that Peter Obi can win if he has some certain things put in place, like strengthening the grassroots structure nationwide, and also form strategic alliance with the North, and also the opposition parties like the PDP faction and regional parties, Also, he has to also intensify Northern engagement,
all right,
which I see he's already doing, which is not bad. A lot of people are already criticizing him about that. We all are Nigerians, so we need everybody to be on board. He has to also, in other ways, expand funding sources, just like, mass funding, just like the way Obama did it when he was campaigning.
Yes.
Also, I think he has to rebrand and strengthen his party image.
Okay.
Because he has to develop Labour Party into a structural and disciplined and ideological and, consistent party.
Did you mention Labour
not just
Party?
A movement.
Did you mention Labour Party? Did you mention Labour Party? I can hear you. Did you just mention Labour Party?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he should go to ADC because ADC is just a means of diversion for, He's already strong in Labour Party, actually. Everybody is rooting for him to be in Labour Party. Pardon?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
Anybody, he has the crowd, he has the people, he has the majority of the people. Anyone that wants to be in coalition with him, to join him in Labour Party, not him joining other people in ADC or APC or whatever. And he also has to, the rural voters education. This is very, very necessary because he has to conduct door-to-door education campaign to explain his policies in simple languages, and many rural voters are influenced by immediate benefit, all this money politics that all this APC or local leaders endorsement,
All right. Thank you for calling.
This team really needs a grand strategy to counter this.
Okay. Thank you so much.
And last.
Hello. Is it our network? I don't want to believe. The call has interrupted him. He's calling on WhatsApp, so I think the call has interrupted.
The problem with Labour is that it has already been infiltrated.
Seriously?
It has already been infiltrated. So he's not going to get anything from there if he goes there.
Right.
Even if he emerges the presidential candidate, somebody else will go to court, and the court will simply, nullify it.
He threatened to set up a National Executive Council meeting, a convention for his expulsion immediately. The faction of Julius Abreu, anyway. And all right, I'm going to read out some messages, and I'll still pick some calls, so please just be patient with me, all right? Let's do this. Esther, good evening. I appreciate your good work in VOP. I will not take it this time around if you don't read my messages that I have been sending for the past 2 weeks now. You know I have been praying for you to work in CNN and it to come to pass in Jesus' name. Amen. See, Esther, the devil is at work concerning this coalition. The Nigerians need to pray and fast. I believe in God, to be honest, but also remember that the devil still has power. APC belongs to Antichrist. They suck blood. It's their word the reform is working. That's why Wike is acting like small God. Esther, I cannot eat 2 square meals a day. Esther, we need change. Not be APC change, I mean real change. As for Kenneth Okonkwo, he's just an actor. I don't take his words seriously. Esther, if APC decides to win, Ghana must go will cost though. Nigerians, please, whether now Obi or Atiku, ADC we know. Okechukwu Bende from Aguda. All right. Good evening, Esther and the guests. The problem I have with Atiku being the presidential candidate of the coalition rather than Peter Obi is that one, it goes against the unwritten agreement of presidential zoning between the North and the South. The South still has a balance of 1 term of 4 years from 2027. Atiku has demonstrated that he cannot stand firm against injustice and religious fanaticism. His double standards in the murder of Deborah Yakubu is a clear indictment. Atiku is Fulani. Under Buhari's presidency, Fulani terrorists unleashed killings and land grabbing freely without any restraints, and this has continued till today. An Atiku presidency is all they Fulani cabal and terrorists need to finalize their fulanization of the Nigerian state. The emergency of Obi in Labour Party in 2023 as an alternative presidential southern candidate was the only reason Tinubu was allowed to lead APC in 2023 election. Buhari had wanted to introduce another Fulani to succeed him in APC while Atiku leads PDP. The Nigerians will have no alternative to a Fulani president perpetually. Nigerians should beware of hidden agendas similar to what came with Buhari. Dozie Augustine. Do you believe with that permutation?
Well, that is for his own opinion.
All right. Good evening, Esther and the analyst. Let the bitter truth be told. Nigerians have suffered enough under the so-called APC propagandist government spearheaded by Tinubu and his cohort. All we need now is to ensure that these set of politicians are booted out from the mainstream, no matter whose ox is gored. Enough is enough. Nigerians, please wake up, stand firm, support the coalition now to liberate your children yet unborn. Boyson from Afro Media. Good evening, VOP Korean fans. One with 5 million to pay tax. Nigerians are already paying the tax, even without having the set amount in their account. That one I can testify. I said 3 days ago, she just deducted money, 3,005 from my account. I can't look. So, okay, I was waiting for the
to tell you the
description as to what did you remove. I was just seeing some coding.
That's what you put coding. You don't understand.
I was like, okay,
100 naira, 200
I know that
naira,
3,005 is not for the SMS now. Is it for the email you are sending me?
That's what they do to us now.
I just
It's been going on. Who save us?
Since July, each bank USSD code used network providers charges 6 naira 87 kobo for each single transaction, and bank charges theirs too. Do transaction twice and thrice, same charges apply. Wallahi.
And CBN is doing the same thing, because all this stamp duty you don't even know.
Now CBN, who gets bank? Who is in charge of bank? No be CBN regulations and they comply.
So what benefit? What policies is working in this country?
CBN now. This is from Comrade Abraham. True, that one pay me. I no go lie. I thought it was Netflix. What are you charging me 3,500 naira for? Every money counts. Just like that, you just took my money. No permission.
Just look at it. If they take it for 1 million Nigerians, that's over 3 billion plus. And they tell us that Nigeria is broke.
Somebody now said, if not for EFCC, how much is 5 million that I cannot give you guys? Okay. Give us, it's money. I will take it. We will take it. All right. Somebody says, can you guys please work on your radio station frequency? I'm so sorry. The engineers are working on it. There have been complaints of interference. All right. This person says, the coalition co-opted Peter Obi into the coalition to give it some credibility. Now that it is achieved, the main actors do not care if Obi walks out. Anyway, if Peter Obi is politically astute enough, he should have known amnesia that the coalition is all about Atiku. It is not called Atiku-led for nothing. Ulumba. Just 2023 here, the obedience labeled Atiku Atifku. Now, same saint Obi to deputize Atiku. It won't work. Obi will be the ultimate loser in this coalition. What's your name? Okay, from Ulumba. All right. Good evening, Esther. How can in every election circle Southwesterners will be threatening with the Igbos? I want them to stop it because nobody has monopoly of violence. Chike from Akpakpa. I don't know. That one weak me.
See, I just want to see. All these things they are saying, article, whatever, is just these are the enemies that do not want the coalition to work.
Okay.
They are just simply the enemies.
No, they're entitled to their preference.
No, this is a wrong opinion. This is an indictment.
You can't say it's a wrong
Do you know why I said it's wrong?
No, the
How
fact
can
that
you say
the fact that you see something right in that prism does not mean another person needs to align.
I'm coming. If you call somebody a thief and you don't have anything, evidence, and what are you saying? You are saying nonsense now.
All right, maybe they are judging from Obasanjo's book.
What did he do? There's no evidence against this man to present now. Did the EFC carry him or did they invite him?
Abidin says, none of Nigeria's political parties have a clear ideology. Instead of being funded by their members, they rely heavily on influential figures like governors, senators, and ministers. This dynamic perpetuates the status quo, allowing external forces to shape party agendas. True change can only come when parties are funded by their members, ensuring that their direction remains authentic and resistant to manipulation. This is from Abidin. Good evening, VOP. Atiku is right person now to win Tinubu. Please, nobody should push Obi to it for now. Obi win Lagos, but Igbo is paying the price till now. Let's be wise in politics. Godwin from Festac. Wow. Good evening, Esther and VP family. Please tell Segun Showme that if life is better for Nigerian masses, North and South issues would have been immaterial. Life has been unbearable to the masses under Tinubu, which has been worse in Nigeria's history. Please ask Showore why he joined such characters in 2015 to defeat Jonathan. If you want to stand for integrity, you must be consistent. Showore is not consistent and can't be taken seriously. Amechi from Mafoluku. Good evening, Esther. My own intention is that Peter Obi should not join the coalition. Let him go back to Labour Party, look for a good Hausa man, because those people that form that coalition are bad people that have killed Nigeria. Since we want new face in Aso Rock. This is AB from Shasha. Good evening, great Esther. Where is Mr. Segun Shopito? A great mind, eloquent speaker. Okay, he'll be here possibly by the grace of God on Friday. I'm hoping that works out. Good evening, Esther and your guest in the studio. Segun Showme has been sent by his paymaster to come and preach, demarcate and criticize the coalition. To me, he's talking with both sides of his mouth. Segun has forgotten so soon. He who kills with the machete does allow a machete to come close to his neck. I want to ask Segun in 2015 when Tinubu, Adeboye, Fani Kaide ganged up against Jonathan, didn't they consider that power must remain in the South? What goes around comes around. Now all of them are crying foul. To me, I want Atiku to hold the ADC ticket with Obi, the vice, and with this Tinubu and APC will be gone. All these people pushing Obi are APC agents sent by Tinubu to destabilize the ADC. Obi should threat with caution. Casey from Ijesha. But Atiku and Peter Obi did this in 2019. Who says that there'll be difference this time around? They did this in 2019 together. It didn't work out. Good evening, Esther and the guest. Sure, should tell us who amongst the coalition members that is worse than Tinubu, and also among the coalition who is rude and arrogant than him. Sure, first remove that plank in your eyes so as to see clearly before removing the speck from another person's eyes. All right, I'll take your calls now. Hello, good evening. I told you when you're calling, turn down the volume of your radio or turn it off completely. 080-3692-9933. That's the number. 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening.
Hello, sir. Welcome. What's your name, sir?
Voice of the people?
Yes, sir. This is Voice of the People.
Okay,
welcome,
you
sir.
people are doing a magnificent job there.
Sir?
I say you are doing a magnificent job over there.
Thank you so much, sir.
My name is Babajide Lawansin.
Babajide Lawansin. Where are you calling us from, sir?
From Ibaoshin Estate.
Ah, welcome, sir. Please
My
go
own
ahead.
take is this. Mr. Peter Obi have the right to his choice. If he decides not to join the coalition, well and good. You see, in the last election, 2023, he has encompassed himself with large popularity of voters in Nigeria. What we need to do now is to take an intro into the north and gain more people. There is enough time now. We can say 2 years. It's enough to canvass for vote. You see, it's vote that matters. And all these people that shouted Obi, 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 Obi on social media, my friend, they don't have voters card. And it's voters card that win election in Nigeria. Let them go and get their voters card. And the issue of INEC, a more responsible umpire should be the head of INEC. I take Lesotho as an example. The youth said we want to take back our country. And we are really adamant on that stand. At the end of the day, they all took the country back and drove away the old people. Look at India. Far away India. When voting has been counted, they come back and scrutinize the voting. All those things have to be applied in Nigeria. Because they are saying we want this, we want that, we want that. Rigging. It should be averted. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Thank you for calling. That's a man of wisdom.
Hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening. How are you, sir?
Yeah, my name is Chike. I'm calling from Apapa.
Chike from Apapa. You called us on WhatsApp
today.
All right, go ahead, Chike.
Yes. I just want to say something briefly. You know, some of us do not understand the game of politics, how these politicians have been sometimes very, very trickish. You don't expect Peter Obi is as wise as Solomon.
Okay.
The same thing with Atiku, the same thing with other guys that are in the coalition. These guys cannot come publicly and tell us that they are adopting one particular political party to challenge the sitting government without have reaching some agreement. They will not tell you. This is not the time to say that kind of thing. To come and if they make there some kind of announcement that if they come outside and make it, it will bring division with the people. True. And it will also give APC information on how to deal with them. So, you know, Tinubu think that he know how to play politics, but before 2027, he's going to have the toughest time of his life. They will give him politics, the tactical political game that him and Wike will get confused. Thank you. Good evening.
All right. Thank you, Chike, for calling. All right. Hello. Good evening. How are you? Wow. This person has not turned down the volume. 08036929933. That's the number to call. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening, sir. What's your name?
My name is Oyeze. I come from my brother.
All right, Oyeze, please go ahead.
I just want to greet you for your work.
Thank you, Oyeze. God bless you.
Yeah, the highlight. I appreciate what you are doing for us.
Thank you.
Because 2 to 3 days I don't listen for VOP, but today I just tried to because of we don't get like to charge phone.
Okay.
I just say okay, but I just manage charge small so that I can hear from you. I just want to hear from God, Esther.
Thank you.
You are well for VOP. Yeah, nothing do for that place.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Have a nice day. I have a nice life.
Thank you so much, sir.
Goodbye.
God bless you.
Goodbye.
Thank you so
Goodbye,
much.
my friend. Goodbye, my friend. Goodbye, my friend.
All right. Good evening. Goodbye. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. We're working hard to keep you updated on issues going on in the policy. Our job is to inform you and we educate ourselves. That's what we try to do here. Hello. Good evening. How are you?
Hello, Elsa. Good evening.
Good evening, sir. How are you? Welcome.
I hope you can hear me clearly.
Absolutely. There is very clear. Good evening. Welcome.
Elsa, Patrick is calling from Okota.
All right, Patrick. Please go ahead.
I listened to the barrister very, very well.
Okay.
And all the analysis he gave very accurate.
Okay.
Unfortunately, he was not able to defend the judiciary on election result in Nigeria because you asked him a very, very vital question.
Yeah.
And that is his own constituency. He was not able to defend it. Secondly, on the issue of the coalition, people are trying to be in a hurry to know who is going to be the arrowhead of the coalition and so on and so forth. Yeah. I'm only urging Nigerians, let us all join hands with the coalition. We are tired of the evil that is before us right now. Let us not begin to say, like, although I agree with the barrister to say, oh, the turn of the north, the turn of the south, southeast, south side. No, we need a credible candidate. Let these people, the coalition, name one and say, we stand by him, and then we are prepared the kind of leadership we want to bring to Nigeria that will be a roadmap for the country, so that we will begin to see from them. If any argument ensue between them now, it shows very clearly that they have started compromising already. So I'm asking them to remain steadfast, for them to have come together and say they want to rescue the country, and all Nigerians are ready to queue behind them. We are ready for a change. That real change that APC preached in 2015, the coalition will bring that change to bear in Nigeria in 2027. Esther, good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much. So there's a message on WhatsApp here, but I haven't been contacted for Mushi local government area and Odiolo Ojuwoye LCDA. I think we've had him here in the studio, one of the PDP party members, but I think I don't know what time, and he said 6. Okay, I think we'll have that conversation privately later, because I'm just saying this on the WhatsApp. You just bamboozled me, you ambushed me. All right. Good evening, Esther. I'm an ardent supporter of Peter Obi, but yesterday I was part of the people that campaigned for Kendo for Oshodi local government election. I don't believe in party, but your good work. Emeka from Oshodi. Yeah, I've heard about Kendo. So it's about the capacity of the individual. You know Kendo. I think he came here last month or so.
Kendo.
You don't know? Can do. The person wrote Kendo. Sorry, can do.
K-E-N-D-O.
Yes,
it's a nickname. Yes, now I should have said his
good. I've been hearing good words about him. The local government elections.
Those are his people now.
The local government elections are coming up on Saturday. Exactly, they've been campaigning. Good evening, Esther and the guest. If it were where votes count, Peter Obi can win, but we need Atiku to rescue us from this administration. Obi should be vice. We need a strong force. If Obi contest and win, they will not give it to him. Chief Emmanuel from Amuwadofe. But Obi and Atiku ran together in 2019. They ran together in 2019.
So why can't they do it again?
It didn't work.
No, it worked. Only that they didn't. The vote was not as much as when they went again.
It worked, separately. But the vote was not as much as.
But
in 2019, President Atiku, Vice Obi, though it didn't work. Now, did they win?
No, I'm not saying that they won. I'm saying that they worked together.
What I'm saying now, if you're applying that same ticket, what is the propensity that together they would win? That's
because
what I'm asking.
They are better than before.
Okay, if the coalition presents Atiku as its presidential candidate, APC will continue to 2031 period. Atiku can never win any presidential election. Let's see how this pans out. This one, you dey cause am.
I don't know. Somebody who won so many.
You don't put your
12,
name.
12
this person they
states.
para. Good evening, there, Uncle. I'm Engineer Ayinde Moruf, contributing from Orisumibare Shasha. Yay, got it. Please, I beg to disagree with your guest, the barrister there, saying that President Tinubu is bad, or he's a don, he is this and that, calling him different sort of names. Your guest is being sentimental, biased, and mischievous. Tell him if he doesn't know till today, President Tinubu has never been indicted of any crime by any court of competent jurisdiction, either nationally or internationally. And if he has any legal proof, he should bring it to the public instead of ranting and making frivolous, fictitious, and inconsequential allegations against people on the public radio. Even till date, Ganduje has not been legally indicted by any known court, so he's qualified just like other Nigerians to fill any public position anywhere in this country. Please let some of the people calling here stop spewing unfounded allegations. All they are doing is inciting public against the person of Mr. President, making flimsy, unsubstantiated and illegal allegations. As per politics, tell the people in ADC to buckle up, play the politics really as it should be played, and stop crying, playing victim, and saying APC or the president is trying to destabilize marginalize them. Let them face the challenges that politics demands. It's a game they are both playing. Those who played well get the victory. One wonders if they just want the APC and its adherents to just stand akimbo, watching ADC scheming and strategizing against them while they must do nothing. Where is that done, please?
Are you sure it's not AI you are
This
reading?
is no engineer Moruf. Ayinde Moruf.
Maybe copy it from AI and put it there.
Why? It's his expression. It's his opinion.
Because of the way it is long. Anyway, what I'm just trying to say is that they are accusing what you are accusing others for. People accuse you of the same thing that you are complaining, because now you are saying Ganduje. It's being recycled now, and you are complaining about those who are in ADC that they are being recycled. So is it not the same thing? That is double standard.
That's why I said these politicians, all of them are the same thing. Esther, good evening. Since this government came into power through the back door of INEC and Judiciary, he has turned this country to gangster paradise and economic disaster in which doctors and money professionals are jackpot. Due to obnoxious policies of this government, you didn't have sufficient doctors and nurses in the local hospitals to treat common illness. Lekon from Lagos. Hello, how are you? Good evening.
Hello, Esther.
Welcome, sir. What's your name?
Thank you. You know what? Longest time.
Welcome, sir. What's
We
your
are
name?
working hard, though. We are working hard, though.
Thank you.
All right. God bless you. God will be your strength, oh.
Amen. Thank you so
And
much, sir.
Kundayo, thank you very much for your work.
Good evening, sir.
So what you are saying, electoral form is the only thing.
Yeah.
We need the electoral form. Let all these Yakubu them, let them be thrown away from there. Because without the electoral form, we are not going anywhere. See what is happening. Let there be electoral form so that people will know their stand in Nigeria.
All right.
Please. So whether Peter Obi or Atiku or something, let them forget about let them start from electoral form and change everything so that Yakubu them will be thrown away from there and put new people that will take Nigeria forward. Please.
All right.
So thank you very much. Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless
Yes.
you too. Thank you for calling. Politics is about give and take. Tinubu gives to the North in 2015 and takes back in 2023. Peter Obi should give to the North, Atiku in 2027, so that when it's time for the South, the North will all support Obi for president after Atiku. Comrade Collins from Ali Mosho. Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for us to make investment. In all of this talk, we need to make money and we need to appropriate our monies better. In what way and other do we do that? Please enlighten us.
All right. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Esther.
Good
and
evening,
good evening,
Victor.
Nigeria. Once again, my name is Victor from Kudos Homes Limited, and I'm here to bring the wonderful opportunities in investment, which is investing in properties, investing in landed properties. So because landed properties is the only investment that can stand the test of time and that can outlive generations. So I'll be mentioning all the areas where we have our properties so that you can take your pen. Whenever I call my phone number, you take it down and you call us to own your own property investment. So here in Lagos, we have in Agbowa Ikorodu, and the name of the estate is called Kudos City. Kudos City, like I said, is located in Agbowa Ikorodu and is currently selling for just 1.5 million naira per plot. So with 1.5 million naira, you own a plot of land in Kudos City, Agbowa Ikorodu. And we also have in Omuketu-Ekpe, and the name of the estate is called Kudos Heritage. Kudos Heritage is located in Omuketu-Ekpe, and Kudos Heritage is currently selling for 1.5 million naira. Now, the actual price for Kudos Heritage is 2.5, but we are currently running our instant allocation promo at Kudos Heritage, and you can get it for just 1.5 million naira instead of 2.5 million naira, and that's about a 1 million naira discount. That's 40% discount on Kudos Heritage Omuketu-Ekpe. And we also have Kudos Height in Omuketu-Ekpe, and Kudos Height is selling for 4.5 million naira per plot. Now you may be asking, why do we have two estates in Omuketu-Ekpe or within the Ekpe axis? Is because of the major infrastructural development that is coming towards that area, coming towards Ekpe. Like we have the new Lagos International Airport, we have the Lagos State food and storage logistics. We also have the new That's the proposed Lagos State Film City. Now, all of these developments are coming towards that direction. Now, the phone number to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. So to own a plot of land in any of this location, the phone number again is 0905 904 7514. Now let's go to Delta State, where we have Fairview Estate Phase 2, which is located in Ibuzo main town. Now Fairview Estate Phase 2 is currently selling for 2.5 million naira per plot. And we also have Kudos Heights. Kudos Heights is also located in Ibuzo main town along the St. Thomas College Road, and Kudos Heights is currently selling for 1.5 million naira per plot. And we have Kudos Court, which is also located in Ibuzo main town, and Kudos Court is selling for 4.5 million naira per plot. Now, Kudos, all of these estates in Ibuzo, they are very close to the Asaba International Airport, and they are also close to the first and second Niger Bridge. So if you need a plot of land in Delta State, especially in Ibuzo, you can call us on 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. And all of our properties are perfectly dry land. We go for inspection every Thursdays and Saturday. Like tomorrow, we'll be going for inspection. You can join us. We have our different pickup location. You can join us on Thursday, and you can also join us on Saturday. And our office address here in Lagos is at number 171 Egbeda Idimo Road, Abule Odubo Stop, Egbeda, Lagos. And we're on social media. We're on Facebook. We're on Instagram. And our handle is at Kudos Homes Limited, and our website is www.kudoshomesLimited.com. And the phone number again to call is 0905 904 7514. 0905 904 7514. Our inspection days in Delta State is every day, excluding on Sundays. You can come any day, Mondays to Saturday, excluding on Sundays. Like I said, all our properties have good title documents and they are perfectly dry land. Once again, the phone number is 0905 904 7514. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Victor. I sincerely appreciate you coming in to read all this out to us.
All right, Esther.
Welcome.
Thank you so much.
Before I go, I'm going to take some SMSs. Kopokoma, don't send me plenty message. Esther, I agree with the media from my heart, but why is it that media are not talking tough about electoral reform that will make INEC never to do beavers again? Okay? Trust me, we talk about electoral reform, but INEC has responded on that, saying that I have a lot of reforms at the National Assembly and they're waiting for them to do the needful. So while we await that, all right, let me take another message. This person says, "Sir, it's me, Joseph Chukwudi from Enugu. The person that met..." Okay, I think this is not for the program. All right. "My name is Peter Brown. Even Jam put 200 cutoff mark after school, considering effort of parents." Okay. This person says, "Good evening to Queen Esther. Good evening to you. My name is Samuel, Palm Avenue, Mushin, Lagos. Believe it or not, Peter Obi is going to win this election. Do you know why? Nigerians are more aware than ever. The reason is that it is no longer the things of being either north or south, east or west. Everybody feels the heat." Okay, thank you. Good evening, ma. Obi is our man. Interesting. You are campaigning. This is not the season for campaigning. No. Any party that doesn't have Obi as many candidates will fail. Chairmaker. Okay, Chairmaker prophets. Okay. I think this is all for the SMS. All right, let's go into YouTube and I'll take a few messages so that we can wrap up the conversation today. James Manu says, okay, James is responding to somebody. So I'm going to start from the beginning. Oza Tessie, greetings Esther and everyone, greetings. All of them in ADC are 419, scammers and double standard people. This is from Tom 11. They are disgruntled elements and do have an interest in the citizens, but personal interest. Tojiko says, good evening. The argument that the coalition are people who have sold the country does not hold because the incumbent can't exonerate themselves either. That argument is hereby trashed by the people. All right. Tochukwu. Godwin says, there is no coalition but collision. Okay? Tochukwu says, look, those policies luring you to believe them were designed in line with what they receive back. They were not actually formulated to help. Abidin says, if Nigerians are genuinely seeking change as they claim, they should consider supporting Goodluck Jonathan to complete the remaining 4 years in the South. In the South turn. Okay, Ayadiji says, Adeyemo play. Okay. Augustine says, until people accept that Nigeria was a republic that ended in 1967, anyone being for a positive thing happening in Nigeria are deluding themselves. God bless MNK. Okay, Obedoji, if the coalition eventually presents Atiku Abubakar as its presidential candidate, then APC is going to continue till 2031. All other talks are mere rhetorics. If you doubt me, let us bet it. All right, Justice Simon says, why can't Atiku just be a statesman and understand that Peter Obi is just who Nigeria needs right now? Well, let him slug it out at the primaries. I mean, he has every right to campaign.
And another thing is this. Age is a number. This man is not weak. I don't know why people say age.
I think he's not the same age with the president.
Yes, now, but he's look at his strength. You look at him. It doesn't look like somebody who cannot go another 20 years. So why are you saying that? Second, you keep calling me a full animal. Yaradua was a full animal. We didn't have any issue. We had no issue. And this man was full 8 years with Obasanjo. We did not hear about full animal killing any or full headsmen or terrorists all over the place. So people who actually came on board to bring these people have a different agenda that is different from people who are Nigerians. That is what we are having. So all these things is just a way of deluding Nigerians and derailing Nigerians. That's it. Because all this coalition, every other government...
Wait, we say all these things is just deluding and derailing Nigerians. Yeah. All what things?
All these things they are saying about maybe they'll bring out something like age, recycling.
Let me say something. Age. What does Peter Obi stand to gain in this coalition that he joined?
A lot.
I'm just asking, because whatever it is it fame? Is it followership? Is it statesmanship? Is it loyalty? He gained that from 2023. 3 years after the elections, or 2 years after the elections, those followers are still with him. So is it not Peter Obi that is giving this coalition the limelight? Just remove... No. Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Remove him out of this equation. Just put him out of this coalition. What do you think?
You remove a little. You remove a substantial part of it. But... there are still people who say bring popularity to that place. People keep saying, see, don't make Obi.
No, I'm not.
No, I'm not saying. I'm talking about the people, Nigerians.
I've been listening to various prisons. I've been listening to several analysts. When I mean several analysis about this, and that's what I'm trying. I'm bringing out all the angles that people have been reasoning this whole coalition in. The question is, what is this coalition going to benefit him? Somebody just made a statement here. He should remain in Labour Party. Then he should start canvassing, go into those areas that have not really known about him and sell himself, specifically the northern parts.
How will he win after selling himself?
No, just
you've forgotten that he needs to win. You see, Nigerian politics is not about the number.
Yeah?
Yes.
It's all about or not about?
No, it's not. It's not completely about the number. I will tell you why. Wait, now let me tell you. In 2023, why are people saying somebody won the other person was given to? Have you forgotten all that mathematics that comes in after voting? You have not forgotten that. Now, you have not forgotten that where INEC is still going there. There is one, apart from crossing the hurdle of, even if all 200 million, all Nigerians voted for you, that doesn't mean you are going to win. Because second, you are going to cross INEC. Have you forgotten? After cross
INEC, the Red Sea.
Yes, you are going to cross INEC. After you cross INEC, you are going to cross you are going to cross the tribunal. After you cross it, you are going to cross the appeal court. Then you now cross the Supreme Court. Do you see how many crosses you are going to cross?
Almost. Even River Jordan, River Baby, Red Sea.
So if the whole Nigerians voted for you, and you see the evidence that all Nigerians voted for you, of course INEC can decide to declare somebody else winner. And the next thing they will tell you is what's the music? Tell us, Esther, go to court.
Go to court.
Even if you win, I said if the whole Nigerians voted for you and nobody voted for the opposition, and INEC decided to give it to the opposition, who didn't score one single vote? The next thing is what? Go to court. And when you get to court, tribunal will say no, this and that. They will tell you something else. And when you get to appeal court, that one will tell another one. And you get to Supreme Court, you will scatter the whole thing. And where do you find yourself? So when you are in Nigeria, everything is not about you voting. You see, there are so many, like 4 hurdles you need to cross. So you need to plan ahead of all those hurdles.
I'm tired. Ladies and gentlemen, this is 8 minutes gone past the hour of 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for following our conversations. We will continue to discuss this as developments unfold within the coalition, within the APC. The only thing I would advise the government of the day is please just do your governance. Forget all of the political permutations. You have your loyalists do all of that. Just deliver all you said you're going to deliver. You say have 2 years to go, and you can never tell what would happen between now and then. But let the people at the grassroots feel the impact of your governance. I think those are the people you need to target, not the political bigwigs, not some persons you think will financially support you, not some astute loyalists who are completely blind to the reality of a lot of Nigerians on ground. People are suffering. Please, state governors, ministers, to perform your duty. Councillors, thank God local government elections is going to commence on Saturday. Please vote right, and once you're voted in, begin to deliver at the grassroots. That's your responsibility. I'll see you tomorrow. My name is Esther Wachuku. Across all social media handles at VOP 903 FM, Estic Media on YouTube, Esther Waz on Instagram, and Esther Wachuku on Facebook. Lawa Okundaya on Facebook. Bye for now.